Coming up, we're telling you about a Michigan corrections officer who family members say died from COVID-19. We'll tell you their story and what safety precautions are prisons incorporating to prevent this from happening again. All of that and more coming up on Fox 47 News.
Coming up next, only on Fox 47 News at 10.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Gebhardt, your Jackson neighborhood reporter. Fox 47 News at 10 starts in 60 seconds.
Stories from the heart of mid-Michigan. This is Fox 47 News at 10.
Reporter by day, baker by night. Coming up on Fox 47 News, I'll introduce you to a local reporter who's balancing her day job and her small business.
Coming up on Fox 47 News, a local nonprofit is helping adults affected by cancer ease their way into treatment.
Coming up,
we don't want any family to experience this. We're grieving, and we're grieving separately because COVID took that away from us.
we're digging deeper into the story about the Michigan corrections officer who family members say died from COVID-19.
It's unfortunate that this virus did take my father because we were definitely using all the precautions.
Now, what safety precautions is the prison taking to make sure no other life is lost? All of that and more coming up on Fox 47 News at 10.
A Metro Detroit man has been charged in the January 6 riots at the U.S. Capitol. Michael Foy of WXYM faces multiple charges, including assaulting a police officer and entering a restricted area after he allegedly beat police officers with a hockey stick and climbed into the U.S. Capitol through a broken window. Reporter Kast has been following the case today and tells us how the FBI had no problem tracking him down.
Michael Foy of WXYM appeared here today at the U.S. District Court in downtown Detroit after being charged in the riots at the U.S. Capitol. And according to all the photos and videos the FBI has found online, they have quite a bit of evidence to work with.
Shot from a cell phone in the crowd, you can see hundreds of people watching on as outnumbered police officers were being beaten with flags, poles, and even a hockey stick. This video, along with countless others, were reviewed by the FBI, who determined that hooded man with the hockey stick was Michael Foy of WXYM. In an affidavit, the FBI outlined how a tip on Twitter helped identify Foy. They first found other videos and pictures online showing his face and found this picture on Facebook from the day of the riot, showing Foy posing in front of the Washington Monument wearing the same outfit and holding that same hockey stick. The account that posted it was Foy's father. And in the comments, someone asked if Foy was the person who sat at Nancy Pelosi's desk, and his father responded saying he was raised better. The FBI also has proof Foy entered the Capitol. The same YouTube video shows him pointing out the busted window, then seconds later, he climbs through and enters the building. Investigators also found even more evidence online stemming from a protest outside the TCF Center 3 days after Election Day. The affidavit includes photos from the Detroit Free Press showing a man named Michael Foy of WXYM wearing the same hat he wore at the U.S. Capitol. And scrolling through 7 Action News footage of that day, Foy walks directly into an interview shot, clearly showing his face and that same hat.
If the faces are that clear and you're identifying the face and the clothing and all that, it's a pretty easy case for a prosecutor to make at that point.
Andy Bartnoak is a retired FBI supervisory special agent and says having the video posted online makes it easy for investigators.
That's what law enforcement has really been using to identify these people and make the arrests that they have thus far. It makes the job that much easier.
We spoke to Foy's parents off camera, who told me they are devastated by the shocking news. They were interviewed today by U.S. Marshals and the Domestic Terrorist Task Force. And with all that video floating around on social media, Bartnoak suspects that other families will get that same visit.
That's going to be the downfall of many of these people.
Now, Foy is currently being detained until his detention hearing on Monday. It was pushed back because the federal government says Foy was caught on body camera footage from the Capitol police officers, and they're still waiting to review that footage. Reporting here in Detroit, I'm Kast, 7 Action News.
Starting February 1st, restaurants and bars can open at 25% capacity and with a 10 p.m. curfew.
While we must remain vigilant and cautious, we can lift some protocols that were previously in place.
Some local business owners say being allowed to reopen will help them get back on track.
We've been kind of going down that path of trying to figure out how we're going to reopen, and this is the first step in order for that to happen, so we're excited.
Gillette was one of 100 Michigan restaurant owners who signed an open letter to Governor Gretchen Whitmer urging her to open indoor dining.
I think there's going to be enough people that are excited about it that will come out, but the biggest thing is we believe in safety. If somebody's not ready, they should not come out and dine with us just because.
I urge Michiganders across the state to do what you can to support your favorite local restaurants. Buy a gift card for a friend or family member. Get takeout a couple times a week if you can. Let's all do our part.
Whitmer also announced in a Friday morning press conference that the state health department will allow larger crowds in stadiums and other entertainment venues. Families relying on food assistance programs like SNAP can also expect a 15% increase in benefits for the next 6 months, she said. Food insecurity in Michigan has been on the rise, which is why some local nonprofits say expanding benefits is crucial.
There's a lot of tools in the anti-hunger toolbox, and certainly charity and the food banks are a huge tool, but there's no tool like the government, right? And to increase SNAP benefits by 15%, yes, it's the fastest, quickest way to get help to people when they need it.
The governor also hopes to ramp up vaccine distribution in the coming weeks. Nearly 600,000 vaccine doses have already been administered in Michigan, but Whitmer says she wants the daily number of vaccinations delivered to increase. More federal money is needed to acquire enough vaccines to meet the governor's goal of 50,000 shots per day across the state.
COVID-19, though, is still a very real threat to us all and our economy, and that's why we've got to keep taking it serious.
Reporting in Lansing, Kaisha Young, Fox 47.
With schools across the country holding remote classes, experts worry some students are being left behind. With students missing from class every day, one group of teachers turned to an old school concept, and it's working. Alexa Liacko takes us to night school.
All right, friends, so we are going to get started.
When most students are getting ready for bed,
Today, you will be writing hello.
these kids are logging on for kindergarten night school.
Would you rather?
When I tell people my son is in night school and what time his school starts, they like, night school? I didn't know they had that for kindergarten.
It's a strategy that's helped grown-ups for years. Now it's helping the youngest students of KIPP Charter School in New Jersey stay on track through the pandemic.
Who's got this last row of sight words?
No, not me. The 2-hour nightly classes allowed single mom Kimberly Hyman to keep her son in school while working overnight shifts.
And turn around, focus. I would have to make sure I was up, by 7-something to make sure he started school, and I got off at 5:30 in the morning. So it was very overwhelming, and I just couldn't do it no more.
I did school all by myself.
Kimberly says she did everything she could to get Ian logged in for his morning classes, but he ended up missing a lot of school.
I had no choice but to work. I didn't want him to be late because that's not a great way to start off your kid education. So it was just difficult.
With his attendance so inconsistent, she worried about the long-term impacts on her son's education.
I was very scared because, if they miss a day, that makes a difference.
That fear is a reality for the tens of thousands of students across the country who are not regularly logging in for remote learning. Experts say students are losing an average of 4 months of learning time because of shutdowns during the pandemic. Younger students are at a higher risk for falling behind during this time, and experts say it could take them years to catch up.
This is the age where they have to learn their letters. They have to learn their letter sounds. They learn their numbers. And then once they get up to the higher grades, they don't teach that anymore. The kids are just hopefully expected to know that.
Kindergarten teacher Meredith Egger says without the night program, her students would be missing key developmental windows to learn those critical skills.
There were some kids that weren't on from the first day of school. I've definitely seen some kids fall behind. but the evening program has really helped pick them up.
For Ian, night school has made all the difference.
Night school is more better. It has more teachers. They tell us more sight words.
Do you like it now more that your mom can be next to you and she can help you if you have a question?
Yes, I like it more because I can't be watched 24/7 on.
In the end, we can agree it's still school.
So we still need to work, and that's a pain in the butt.
But it's given families a chance to succeed during challenging times.
I feel very blessed. I love the fact that I feel like I'm a more hands-on parent now because I'm right here while he's in school.
Blessed to be part of the education helping this 6-year-old grow into the scientist he wants to be.
That's smartness.
I'm Alexa Liacko reporting.
That's really smart.
Good evening, everyone. We're adding another day to our streak, now on 7 straight days of the 3-degree guarantee, as our daytime high in Lansing was 21 degrees. Forecasted high yesterday, 23 degrees, so well within that 3-degree guarantee. We're adding another $50 to the $750 already raised this month after the last 22 days. Now, tonight's temperatures are going to be very cold, brutally cold in some cases, as we get down to 10 degrees with the wind chills well down into the teens near 0 degrees by tomorrow morning under clearing skies and a wind out of the west at 10 miles per hour. But with those clearing skies, we are going to trend into some sunshine tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies in store for our Saturday. 29 degrees with a west wind at 7 miles per hour. So those wind chills will stay in the teens and the 20s the entire day. I'm meteorologist Erik.
Fox 47 News will be back in 60 seconds, right after this Fox Fast break.
COVID-19 has ravaged Michigan prisons, infecting both inmates and corrections officers.
We've had 23,000 prisoners who have tested positive since the start of the pandemic. 128 prisoners have died due to COVID.
Those 23,000 positive COVID-19 cases make up more than half of the state's inmate population. But the problem doesn't stop there. We're told 3,328 prison employees have tested positive and 4 have died.
We don't want any family to experience this. We're grieving, and we're grieving separately because COVID took that away from us.
Rosalinda Kelly is the sister of Ramira Mata, a corrections officer at the Bellamy Creek Correctional Facility in Ionia, which has had over 80 positive COVID-19 cases among staff members. Mata died earlier this month. He was only 45. Kelly and her family say COVID-19 was the cause of his death.
It's unfortunate that this virus did take my father because we were definitely using all the precautions.
Mata was a father of 4 and devoted himself to his job even during this troubling time.
He did a hard job. He was a prison guard, and he did it for 20 years. Most people would not last that long at that job.
Department of Corrections spokesperson Chris Gouch says all Michigan prisons have implemented safety precautions like cleaning, monitoring social distancing, and testing employees and inmates on a regular basis.
We've done more testing than any state in the country. We feel it's very important to continue to do that testing so that we know where there are positives. And when we find positives, we can isolate them, quarantine them, identify close contacts, and then make sure that the prisoners who are negative don't come in contact with either of those two groups.
Now, you could check out the safety precautions that Michigan prisons have adopted on our website, fox47news.com. For now, we're here in Lansing. Larry Wallace, Fox 47 News.
In 1918, misinformation about a growing pandemic spewed out of the White House unchecked by the press. A powerful propaganda machine and a new law threatening prison for criticizing the government encouraged newspapers to fall in line. Newsy's Carrie Cochran explains how that press censorship costed lives.
From the moment the coronavirus started to take root in the U.S., then President Donald Trump continually downplayed the disease. sometimes flat out lying.
Death is way down from where it was.
It's 1,000 a day. It was
Many journalists called out the misinformation, getting the truth out to the public. But that wasn't the case in the worst pandemic in U.S. history.
Refusal to tell the truth killed people. That's the biggest single lesson coming out of 1918.
Between 1918 and 1919, an estimated 675,000 Americans died of influenza.
Well, the pandemic was minimized, much as it has been today. The motive back then, of course, was they were afraid that any negative news would hurt morale and damage the war effort.
In 1918, the U.S. was in the final stretches of World War I. To President Woodrow Wilson, talk of the pandemic was a distraction. Patriotism at all costs was needed to ask Americans to send their boys overseas and send their money. So he assembled a powerful propaganda machine, and it worked.
Newspapers were entirely complicit. They were either intimidated or volunteered.
Some newspapers only covered the war and barely mentioned the pandemic. Others didn't push back when public officials called it ordinary influenza.
It was not ordinary influenza by another name. People could die 12 hours after the first symptoms, bleeding not only from the nose, but from the mouth, from the eyes, from the ears.
On one day alone, the city of Philadelphia lost 769 people to the illness and was in the throes of a second deadly wave. Yet, when the Philadelphia Inquirer came out the next day, it reported, "Philadelphia will soon be out of the clutches of the epidemic influenza."
When they finally belatedly closed theaters, restaurants, schools, and so forth, one of the newspapers actually said, "This is not a public health measure. You have no cause for panic or alarm." People are dying all around you. I mean, really, how stupid did they think people were?
And the Sedition Act of 1918 helped newspapers fall in line with the president's objectives. Now, you could get 20 years in prison if you willfully utter, print, write, or publish anything disloyal about the U.S. government. The publisher of a Wisconsin paper had written an editorial criticizing the military for not doing enough to save soldiers from dying from the disease.
The Army started to prosecute its publisher and editor under the Sedition Act.
The act ended up getting repealed after the war, but the damage had already been done. More Americans ended up dying from the 1918 flu than from the war. In fact, there were more American deaths from the pandemic than in the battles from the Civil War, both World Wars, and Vietnam combined.
And the whole point of the freedom of the press is the freedom to criticize people in power.
Carrie, Cochran, Newsy.
Get your first look at the weather that's heading our way with the Weather Satellite Radar on Fox 47 News.
Sponsored by Winter World of Lansing.
Dr. Raj Kuthrapalli. Cool. Redefined.
Fox 47 News is sponsored by Kia of Lansing and Kia of Jackson.
Last week, former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder was charged along with other government officials for his role in the Flint water crisis. Now, residents have the option to join the settlement, asking for more than $600 million on behalf of those affected by the crisis. Rachel McCrary has the story.
But we kind of expected it to go forward. That wasn't a surprise.
U.S. District Court Judge Judith Levy says the $641.2 million Flint water settlement meets the requirements to move on to the next step. The class action lawsuit would pay out to the people most impacted by the lead-laced water. Now, Flint residents have 60 days to register to participate in the settlement program. Weaver will be opting out, citing it's just not enough.
I think the amount is wrong. I think the way that it's being distributed is wrong. I still say that this amount is a slap in the face because people's lives have been changed, some people forever.
Flint residents who have registered will have 120 days to file the documents necessary to support their claims. The amount of money each person gets will be based on factors such as age, exposure to the water, test results, injuries, property ownership, payment of water bills, and commercial losses. Certain adults may need to present medical records linking their condition to exposure to the lead or other contaminants in the water. Before final approval can be granted, claimants will have the opportunity to evaluate whether it is in their best interest to join the settlement. They will also have the opportunity to object to the settlement and opt out and proceed with their own litigation. It's not clear how much people will get in the lawsuit because the amount given depends on how many people opt in. Weaver thinks it's unfair.
I still am saying that this decision and this amount was based on race and it was based on class, just like everything else that happened in Flint around this water issue. And I just think this is a tragedy.
The money will be paid out by the state, City of Flint, McLaren Regional Medical Center, and Rowe Professional Services Company. The judge still needs to give her final approval on whether the settlement is fair, adequate, and reasonable after conducting a fairness hearing scheduled for July 12th. Weaver is encouraging all residents to examine the terms closely and fight for more.
Because whichever decision you make, you need to be educated about the consequences and what it means, whatever way you go.
Hitting the road this weekend, well, you first might want to hit the ATM for some more cash. I'm Connell, McShane with the Fox Business Network, and we'll have the story coming up.
Fox 47 News is sponsored by LaFontaine Ford of Lansing.
The housing market remains strong with no sign of letting up. Fox Business correspondent Connell McShane has that story and more in tonight's Fox Means Business Report.
Some Friday selling unable to knock down stocks. The Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 all higher for the week. Investors are still hopeful of another round of COVID relief coming out of the new administration. The NASDAQ closing the week at an all-time high. Meantime, the housing market keeps building gains. Existing home sales rising in December to cap off a strong year of buying. Total sales volume for 2020 surpassing 5.6 million units. Now, that is the most we've seen in 14 years. However, drivers keep feeling more pain at the pump. The national average for regular unleaded gas rising now for 18 straight days. A gallon on average costing $2.40, and that's up around 16 cents just in the past month. But maybe some relief will be on the move as oil prices broke a 3-week streak of gains, dropping a bit over the past several days, now a little over $52 per barrel. That's a look at business. I'm Connell McShane.
I stopped by DeWitt High School, where players on the football team say playing in the state championship is something they've been waiting for their whole lives. And now, after a season transformed by COVID-19, the wait is finally over for the Panthers.
They've been talking since they were in 4th grade that they wanted to play for a state championship by the time they were seniors. And so it's nothing but excitement out of this group.
The undefeated Panthers may have found a secret recipe for team chemistry. Some of their star players, like Tyler Holt and Tommy McIntosh, have been playing together since they were 9 years old.
We've always kind of had that chemistry on the field, and being able to build on it, 6, 7 years, it's just gotten better and better. So
it really builds, because when we were growing up, throwing the ball around in the backyard, just having fun with it, and then just over time you just kind of build just a relationship and a chemistry that translates onto the field, and I feel like it showed this year.
This quarterback and wide receiver dream team are excited to cap off their junior season with a trip to Ford Field. For seniors like Connor McKean, this is the best way they could have imagined ending this roller coaster of a season.
Again, I'm just thankful for the opportunity we have tomorrow to participate in one of the biggest games that this program's honestly ever seen.
Connor's dad is ready to cheer on the Panthers as both a proud parent and the principal of DeWitt High School. He says this game means so much for the community.
Coach Zim's been there, I think, 4 or 5 times, and has been close. So I know it's every class's goal and dream is to bring him home that same championship trophy. And hopefully, like I said, these guys are special to me, and it would mean, a lot personally and professionally to see them bring it home for our community and for Coach Zimmerman.
All of us here at Fox 47 are wishing the Panthers luck as they head into tomorrow's matchup against River Rouge. Fans are still limited at these events, but you can catch all of the action on the Fox Sports Go app. The Division III championship game kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Saturday night.
Good evening, Mid-Michigan. After a very cold start to our Saturday with temperatures right around 10 degrees, we are going to be rising another 20 degrees or so, getting to 29 by the end of the day with mostly sunny skies. Another round of snow showers are in store for the morning hours on Sunday. Temperatures getting into the lower 30s then, and also the lower 30s on Monday. The majority of Monday will be dry under cloudy conditions, but once we head into the evening, overnight Monday and into Tuesday, a stronger storm system than the first one on Sunday is going to set its sights on mid-Michigan and could bring several inches of snowfall to those that are south of Lansing. Lansing in particular will see a couple of inches of snowfall potentially from this system, but the Sunday system will bring about an inch or so to everyone across the area. Once this system is gone by Tuesday morning, it's pretty much dry for the rest of the week. I'm meteorologist Erik.
Hi, I'm Gary Baxter, General Manager at Fox 47. Fox 47 is changing the way we deliver the news. We're working hard and getting better every day as we build a different kind of newscast, shifting our focus to the neighborhoods that make up mid-Michigan. So please, keep watching and let us know the stories you'd like to see.
Introducing the Fox 47 Home Experts. When you need help in your next home project, call an expert. MSU Federal Credit Union, building dreams together. Go to fox47news.com and click on Home Experts.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said in a briefing on Friday that the new coronavirus variant found in the UK may be linked to, quote, a higher degree of mortality.
All current evidence continues to show that both the vaccines we're currently using remain effective, both against the old variant and this new variant.
The variant Prime Minister Johnson is referring to has been found in more than 20 states here in the U.S. The impeachment of Donald Trump could begin next week. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the House's article of impeachment for Donald Trump will be delivered to the Senate on Monday.
I've been speaking to the Republican leader about the timing and duration of the trial, but make no mistake, a trial will be held in the United States Senate, and there will be a vote on whether to convict the president.
The move would trigger the start of the Senate's impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. He's accused of incitement of insurrection in the January 6th breach of the Capitol building by his supporters. The Senate has confirmed retired General Lloyd Austin to lead the Pentagon. The 67-year-old makes history as the first Black Secretary of Defense. Austin retired in 2016 as head of U.S. Central Command, which oversees U.S. military operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. Legendary baseball player Hank Aaron has passed away at the age of 86. Aaron's former team, the Atlanta Braves, confirmed his passing in a tweet. Nicknamed Hammerin' Hank, Aaron is known as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He went on to break Babe Ruth's home run record, and his 755 career home runs is second on the all-time list, only behind Barry Bonds. The Atlanta Braves and Milwaukee Brewers both retired his jersey number, 44.
Here in Lansing, a cancer survivor is helping those fighting the disease ease into treatment.
You'll notice 3 hearts. It's for those who are survived, those who are healing, and those we remember.
The You've Got This Project is a nonprofit organization in Lansing. Its mission is to spread a little sunshine to adults affected by cancer.
When you hear the diagnosis, it's shocking, and you need a lot of hope and you need positivity, and so we're excited to bring that joy to people and give them a little bit of hope in a dark time.
They're bringing joy by gifting treatment starter packs for adults receiving chemotherapy.
It is a result of my cancer diagnosis in 2017.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had a wonderful support system of family and friends and a wonderful medical team.
Mary Jo Wojcinki is the founder of the organization. She says when she was going through treatment, she had a lot of people reach out to her with tips.
It was really a grassroots effort. Once I was done with treatment, I really wanted to find a way to give back.
When she heard her neighbor was diagnosed with colon cancer, she created her first treatment pack.
Some of the products that I found helpful for me that help fight the side effects of chemotherapy, I put together a little care package for him, and it just kind of blossomed from there.
The packs include over-the-counter personal items like a soft toothbrush, lip balm, and lotion for dry skin.
Don't think of the things that you might need, like a softer toothbrush because your gums hurt so bad, or the biotin that helps the sores on the inside of your mouth. Things that she brought over was just, I'm thinking, this is just perfect,
As we found out people were diagnosed with the disease, my husband and I reached out and we would deliver the packs to them.
With some encouraging words from a friend, they became an organization, and being positive is how they came up with their name.
My husband was so positive all the time, and so we just wanted it to have a positive flair and a positive message to everybody, and when you're in it, you just need it because it gets real very fast.
The family was blindsided last year with a cancer diagnosis for her husband, Bart.
Unfortunately, his ending was much different than mine. It was a terminal diagnosis and it was very short-lived.
But she says he was so proud of the project and her biggest cheerleader. The You've Got This project continues to grow. Organizations have joined in to help with fundraising and providing products.
So every penny that someone donates really counts, and it helps us go out and buy more products so that we can then gift more packs.
They've delivered packs locally and even out of state to Maryland, Chicago, and Florida. They say the work they are doing is good, but it's also bittersweet.
It's nice to know that we can help, and we're happy to do this, and it just serves the mission even more about why we're doing what we do. It's just a tough thing to be a part of. We want to be helpful, but it's also reality.
And for those who are currently going through treatment, Mary Jo says surround yourself with goodness and good people and let your medical team take the lead.
You've got this. You can do it. I know days are long, treatments are long, but just give yourself grace to heal and reach out when you need it. And projects like our nonprofit, You've Got This, are there to support you. You're not alone.
If you know someone who would benefit from a treatment starter pack, or you want to donate to the You've Got This project, visit our website at fox47news.com. For Fox 47 News, I'm Tianna Jenkins.
Fox 47 News, brought to you by American Flooring in Holt.
Today is the day many sports fans have been waiting for. Sports betting has been legal here in Michigan since last year, but you had to place those bets in person inside of a casino. Now, Michiganders can place bets and stay in the game from virtually anywhere in the state, right through your phone or online.
For a Michigander, that probably means that you are going to have more access to legal sports betting with the launch of mobile sports betting.
We spoke with an expert on sports betting legislation back when the Gaming Control Board was gearing up to make online betting official. Now it's time for Michiganders to get in on the game.
Feel like you're in the game, but you're not in the game, but also have something riding on it. So I just think that it's going to be a fun, great experience.
Three-time NBA All-Star and former Detroit Piston Rip Hamilton is the face of PointsBet, an online gaming platform that struck a deal with the NBA. It's one of about a dozen sports betting apps that went live at noon Friday.
This has been going on behind the scenes underground forever, right? And I think they just bring it to light with some rules and some regulations behind it.
In addition to all major American professional sports leagues, you will also be able to wager on in-state college teams such as Michigan State and University of Michigan. For the state and local municipalities, it could be a major jackpot. The tax and payment rate for internet gaming ranges from 20 to 28%. Every sports betting app has its own features. For example, Hamilton says PointsBet allows you to customize wagers.
I want to place a bet that Blake makes more than 5 3-point shots the next game. And that bet might not be out there, but you can actually tweet PointsBet, or you can kind of put it in the app saying, I want this bet to be live. Now you can actually place your own bet and see if someone gets some action on that too.
It's definitely an exciting day for sports fans here in Michigan, and could be an exciting few weeks as major betting events like the Super Bowl and March Madness are just around the corner. And let's go to Erik Kostrzewa with your Mid-Michigan forecast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Erik Kostrzewa. After a sunny and somewhat milder day on Saturday with temperatures nearing 30 degrees, we will have another light snow chance on Sunday. This is mainly going to be during the morning hours, most of us coming in with around an inch of snowfall by the afternoon hours on Sunday. We will stay cloudy through the rest of the day on Sunday and the majority of Monday until a much stronger system is going to develop into southern Indiana and Ohio and send some heavier snowfall in our direction by Tuesday morning. This is going to be a Monday evening, Monday overnight, and Tuesday morning sort of storm as it tracks from Indianapolis out towards Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And the closer you are to the Indiana-Michigan border, the better chance you have of seeing significant snowfall accumulation. Now, that is going to be closer to Jackson, Adrian, Battle Creek, Coldwater, down into Hillsdale. That's where the heaviest snow will be. Maybe 4, 6, 8 inches of snowfall on the current track. Now, if it continues to trend more towards the south, we could be talking about all this snowfall going mainly into Indiana and Ohio. And if it's further to the north with that track, well, that bullseye could be closer to Lansing. Lansing, a couple inches of snowfall, maybe upwards of 3 to 4 inches. And then as you trend towards Alma and Mount Pleasant, less than an inch of snow there at the current time. We'll keep you updated through the weekend on this storm after the inch or so of snow on Sunday.
Your Fox 47 Weekend Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Bobcat of Lansing, McDonald's, and MSU Federal Credit Union.
Fox 47 News closed captioning sponsored by LaFontaine Automotive Group. Fox 47 News is sponsored by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Even with the deposit, some used car dealers offering financing for everyone may not be able to deliver on that promise. Consumer reporter John Matarese has a buyer beware so you don't waste your money.
Bringing home a new car is one of the best feelings in the world, but finding out you have to return it because the financing fell through, well, that's one of the worst. Crystal Garland finally has a car she can drive.
Everything I could possibly want.
After a dealer found financing for this young mom. But she's still battling to get her deposit back for a 2009 Chevy she had to return after her financing was denied.
I got a letter from my supposed creditor, and that says, no, we're not. This is the denial letter. We can't do this.
Crystal purchased the used Malibu from a used car dealer chain that promises financing for everyone on its website. Everyone but her, she claims. With financing denied, she couldn't get her car registered or insured.
I couldn't drive the car because my insurance would not insure the car because I could not prove it was mine.
Finally, with no way to register, title, or insure her car, Crystal decided she had no choice but to return it to the dealer. And she figured they would return her deposit to her in return. The dealer has the car back now?
Yes, 100%. The dealer has the car in the same condition I got the car in.
But she says they're still holding her $600 deposit. A report in Credit.com says dealer contracts typically allow 30 days to secure financing. They can demand the car back if they can't find you a loan. But it says they should refund what you paid, minus any state fees. So we visited the dealer, where a manager told us the bank dropped the ball in her case and said it would be happy to return her $600 in the next few days. And that's great news.
My son wants to know why I'm crying and why I'm upset. He wants to know why I'm not okay.
If a dealer won't return your deposit, contact the state attorney general and a lawyer so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese, Fox 47 News.
A journalist by day and a baker by night.
Emily Lawler is the lead reporter for MLive's public interest team, focusing on policy, politics, and cookies?
I got into journalism because I wanted to do something different every day, and politics delivers on that. I think Michigan has one of the best political scenes in the country right now.
Still waiting for the part about cookies?
Decided I wanted to have a little bit of a creative outlet and also like a tangible product. I read a lot of articles that go on the internet, maybe they end up in a newspaper, but I just kind of wanted like a product to hold and to give to somebody at the end of the day.
Lawler has been working for MLive since 2014. She started the Cookie Press, her small business, at the beginning of 2020, just before the pandemic hit Michigan. The name is a nod to her day job as well as a baking term.
We made sure we got that reserved with the state so nobody else can have her name.
Lamaro is a former coworker of Lawler's, as well as her business advisor and customer.
But yeah, I'm just watching her become such an amazing reporter. And it's been fun the last year watching her going, oh, I have an interview with the governor.
So how does Lawler manage owning a small business baking and designing artisanal cookies and covering state government?
My mom always told me that only bored people get bored, so I try my hardest to keep occupied and always be doing something. I will get off work and come downstairs and start baking, so it's sort of like a nightly ritual to unwind with. I guess some people have a glass of wine, I bake a batch of cookies.
As if that weren't enough, Lawler also creates her own cookie cutter shapes for custom orders using a 3D printer and decorates them by hand.
The first time I ordered her cookies, I took them home and I kept looking at the cookie because it was so perfectly done. Every line was perfect. And I go, she's got to have pressed this on or something. And then a day or two later, she did a video on Facebook with her doing it by hand.
I'm an artist of sorts, and cookies are just my medium. Picking up as a business as opposed to just a hobby baker has really let me get way more creative.
Lawler says that lately she enjoys hand-painting pet portrait cookies, but can essentially create any design for any type of occasion, with 2 weeks notice, of course. For Lawler's secret ingredient, you'll have to go to fox47news.com. For Fox 47 News in Lansing, Lauren Shields.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Gabi Dunham. Make it a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.